Welcome back to DM Prep. My name is Ian and I'll be your DM for today. Today we are prepping episode 26 of the Gilded Troll Plays Curse of Strahd. When last we left off, the heroes explored pretty much the entirety of the crypts. They went around, they touched every door because they just trusted that myth like it was gospel. That's fine. They saw the door to the Hall of Tatiana. I made that up. That's fine. And then they made their way into Strahd's tomb. They did skip his parents' tomb, but that's okay. But yeah, now where we're at is they went into Strahd's tomb and they pulled back a curtain, and I was honestly at the end of the session I thought, I kind of want to put something interesting here, but I'm failing to think of anything interesting off the top of my head, so I will just cliffhanger it. But now that I thought about it, you know what I want? You know what I think? I don't think I want any there. Thank you everyone for being here. CJ Rose, Legend of Pi, L2S, I saw Lady LaFay earlier, Shadows, everyone, thank you for being here, and thank you, Schneider Wave, for the 3-month sub. Welcome back to the Gilded Troll. Thanks everyone for being here. So yeah, the thing that I want behind that curtain is a big ol' nothing. It's nothing. Presumably the players are going to go into Strahd's coffin as well. And they are also going to find nothing in there except grave dirt. They had a plan to stake the dirt, and I'm just gonna let them do it. You know, they're gonna stake the dirt with the intention of then going to the balcony where they know that they're supposed to meet Strahd, and then they're gonna attack him and hopefully, in their minds, destroy him in such a way that it causes him to go back to his coffin and reform around the stake. And you know what? I'm going to give it to him. But if they don't do anything about the brides are going to... So as written, they rise to attack anyone who approaches Strahd's coffin. But real talk, 3 vampire spawns, they stand literally no chance. They might get a turn. They've got 246 hit points between them, but as soon as they start their turn, they lose 60 hit points. If Gramps gets a turn before them, he'll use Hold Vampire. So yeah, like it's just gonna be a lot of damage, and it's gonna suck for everybody, especially me, or especially them, I guess. So they're not gonna attack. You know, they're smart enough. Strahd would be smart enough to tell them not to. So instead of having them attack when they approach the coffin, they'll just go in and remove the stake after they leave. And probably not even after they leave, after Strahd reforms in his coffin. They'll just remove it and, let Strahd regenerate in peace. And then they will go about the crypts in an attempt to defend Strahd as best they can. So we're going to rouse Bucephalus, we're going to rouse some Hellhounds, we're going to rouse pretty much every creature down in these crypts to defend Strahd while he's regenerating for an hour. I think that'll be really interesting. I'm not really going to prep that. I'm just going to kind of run it off the cuff, mostly by just like throwing tokens around. I'm just going to grab tokens and say, okay, you're here. Okay, what works? This is cool. Where are they coming from? All right, you're going to go here. Bucephalus. You can move people around as you need to. It's gonna be a nightmare to run because there's gonna be like 20 different stat blocks. But that's just how it goes. There is also the Swarm of Bats token. If they start Swarm of Bats, really? Swarms of Bats. 2d4 swarms of bats. There we go. So the catacombs are homes to tens of thousands of bats. They will not attack intruders unless provoked or specifically commanded to do so by Strahd. If one or more bats within 10 foot square of the map are attacked or caught in the area of a harmful spell, 2d4 swarms of bats form that area and attack. Wow. It's going to be lots of swarms of bats, because presumably the players are going to see lots of enemies, and they're going to throw lots of AoEs, and then lots of bats are going to get pissed off and start attacking them. So, it might actually be that these defenses can stop the players from getting to Strahd for an hour, depending on what route they take through the castle. If Strahd's body is destroyed and he has to go to his coffin to reform, essentially everything in the castle would know about it instantly because I said so, and they would immediately move to prevent these attackers from getting down to his crypt. So that's the plan here. So I had this plan, or no, this one. Oh, I gotta make this bigger. You guys can't read this. Font size, not 11, I want 26. Here we go. View word wrap is on. All right. So I had this plan post K78, which was where the hourglass and the iron golems was. Strahd's face pops out of the wall. He charms Rubec. Does nothing with the charm yet. I hit him with that charm like 3 or 4 times, and Rubec kept just resisting it. But here's the thing: Strahd's charm does not require him to be in his human form. So he can actually do it as a bat. And turns out there's tens of thousands of bats in this crypt. So we're just gonna, as the players move around the crypts a little bit more, I'm just gonna start charming them. And this is something that I should have been doing before, in last session, after the attempt to charm him from the wall failed. I forgot. This is I'm only human. I am but a man. So I legitimately just forgot. I didn't remember that was something that Strahd was capable of. We also have just random encounter tokens. That's kind of neat. I forgot that Strahd was capable of charming as a bat. If I had remembered, I would have done it. But now I remembered, so I'm gonna do it now. Strahd charms basically the entire party as a bat. If I can get them to start AoEing bats, all the better. Not really interested in actually charming everyone. In fact, it's better if I don't. They would not attack him at all if they're all charmed. In the last 24 hours, so bleh. What I really want is I want Rubec to be charmed, Rubec specifically, so that I can take the hammer away from him, as per our previous plan. Next time there's a fight, Strahd is present and politely asks that Rubec turn off the hammer. Does Moonbeam fuck up shape changes? Moonbeam does fuck up shape changes. That is a thing. Hope we don't get a repeat of last time with the take 20s. No, Moonbeam does, if they fail their save against Moonbeam, they do return to their normal form. I don't know if anybody in the group has it. Let's find out. Strahd. I think it would only be Gramps. I think Gramps is the only one who could. Let's find out if Gramps has Moonbeam prepared today. I'm gonna move it over here. Stealth. Second level. No Moonbeam. No Moonbeam for Gramps. North there. Sorry, no Moonbeam for them. Yeah, like throwing Moonbeam at the bats would turn Strahd back into his. He's not even tagged as a shape changer. Oh, he has a shape changer feature though. So one thing that people might be questioning is when he drops to 0 hit points outside his coffin, he transforms into a cloud of mist instead of falling unconscious, provided that he isn't in running water or sunlight. I'm ignoring this. I'm ignoring... Could you layer Moonbeam and Sunbeam if it's from 2 different sources? Yes. There's no reason you can't. The only reason that 2 spell effects can't overlap is if one says that it cancels out the other, or if they both have the same name. Moonbeam and Sunbeam are 2 different names, so you can fire a Moonbeam and a Sunbeam at the same thing. I have a hard time talking today. So yeah, I am ignoring this instead of falling unconscious, and I'm going to say that he needs to be destroyed in his coffin to be destroyed. Does that actually say... Yeah, stake to the heart. If piercing weapon is driven into his heart while he's incapacitated in his coffin, he is paralyzed until the stake is removed. Provided he's in running water or sunlight shape water. I'm just ignoring this entirely, so I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna. While he has 0 hit points, he can't revert to his vampire form. He must reach his coffin within 2 hours or be destroyed. He'll be at the coffin in 30 seconds. Once his coffin reverts to his vampire form, he's then paralyzed until he regains at least 1 hit point. After an hour in his coffin with 0 hit points, he regains 1 hit point. So while paralyzed, he is incapacitated, which would cause him to be vulnerable to a stake to the heart. If they stake him, he'll be paralyzed until the stake is removed instead of until he regains a hit point. So he'll regain a hit point, he'll become conscious, and then he will... Actually, he'll immediately start regaining hit points, and then he'll just be paralyzed until the stake is removed. So, cool beans. So, that's kind of how I'm expecting this to go down. I'm hoping that the players are smart enough to dash back down to the catacombs after they destroy him and force him into his mist form, keeping in mind that not only will he have his full hit points, his full spellcasting abilities, and as we discussed before, it's map 6, I believe, or is it? I think it's 5. Nope, it's 6. Ravenloft map 6. He's a Titan demon from Doom as long as the stake is in there and he's dead to the world. Sure. I don't remember. Oh, it's not 6 either. Crap. Which map is it? Oh, it's map 2. Okay. There we go. So yeah, so as discussed before, they're probably going to go to the balcony. They're going to see Strahd standing at the edge. I don't think I wrote down what these guys are. Like, I have Strahd von Zarovich tokens here. What'd you miss? Essentially, once they go to the balcony and destroy Strahd, everything in the castle is going to try and stop them from getting to his tomb, where he will be regenerating for the next hour. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I missed. And by him, I mean Strahd. I don't remember what these were, so let's look at my usable humaniforms. What's a Deathlock? Let's see. What do we got for Deathlock? What is that? Deathlock Mastermind, Deathlock White. Maybe we want to use a higher level one. This guy's CR4, CR8, CR3. Why does that art look better? This is from Dead and Thay. These are from Foam of Toes. Okay. Let's see. What do these guys do? Oh, they're warlocks. Okay, they got 2 slots. Deathlock. Shittier warlocks. We're gonna call these Deathlock Masterminds. So here's what I'm gonna do. If they find the tomb and destroy it, would it keep him from being able to regenerate? That's a good question. I'm just gonna say they can't break his. Were they vampire spawns? That just seems dumb. It seems dumb of me to use vampire spawns. I think you're right, but I don't want to use vampire spawns anymore, because it's just not enough. So we have to make this not. We have to change this to none. So this guy is gonna have 110 out of 110. His AC is 13 out of 16. Let's just call it 16. Deathlock Mastermind. See, I want... Oh. Hey, Fat Jedi Complex, subscribe for 4 months. Welcome back to the Gilded Troll. Hell yeah, 4 months. So let's delete these other 2. They all look like Strahd, so they're all using the Strahd token. These guys are Deathlocks. They have some pretty decent AC and hit points, so they should be a competent threat for the PCs that get left behind. But the first person who steps forward, which I'm guessing is going to be Rubeck, fingers crossed, will get teleported up. And then I haven't decided yet if these are permanent, if it's everyone who steps on it, or if it's just the first person. I think probably I'm going to do 1 per zone. to really split the party. And then Strahd makes them look like him. Why are there so many Strahds? So one of the things... Yeah, I keep targeting Rubek because he's the one with the hammer. Yeah, he's the one with the hammer. He's the most dangerous to Strahd. So... Yeah, Andy will remember this. Yeah. The reason that all of the tokens look like Strahd is because as the players approached the... Another stance. I am Strahd, and so is my wife. The reason everyone looks like Strahd is because as the players approached the castle, Strahd called all of his humaniform undead to him in the entry hall, got them to surround him, and then he cast Seeming. And Seeming can target any number of creatures within 30 feet of you. So as long as they just pile in, he was able to make absolutely every single humaniform undead in the entire castle look like Strahd. He also made a bunch of random Barovian villagers look like Strahd too. And then set them loose wandering around the castle in the hopes that as a random encounter, because you can run into where's it? Barovian commoners. You can run into 1d4 Barovian commoners, yeah, they look like Strahd, so the players will probably attack them. So the forging of a pact between a warlock and a patron is a minor occasion. Warlock who fails to live up to a bargain with an evil patron runs the risk of rising from the dead as a deathlock. Oh, okay, cool. So the plot twist, the real Strahd's already in your party. That'd be incredible. So these are Barovians, quite likely former adventurers who made a warlock pact with Strahd himself, and then reneged on that pact, and then he killed them, and then they turned into deathlocks. Oh, we got a Trito for the Floof Queen, but Samus isn't up here. Sorry, we don't really do those on DM prep, but I'll make a note. We can do that first thing tomorrow on our one shot. Making a note. Grace Candy's Trito. Yeah, she stays downstairs for DM prep. She doesn't really like being up in the office with me when I'm being loud and on stream. Yeah, so we've got these 3 Deathlock Masterminds. Let's see, what can they do? So Crown of Madness is, it's a 2nd level spell, but they upcast to 5th. What does that do to it? It doesn't do anything. Okay, so that's probably not the best spell to cast. Hold Monster is a 5th level spell. That works. That works on Grams. What are those things behind me? They look like plates. These things are, 3D printer filament. Spools of filament for an FDM printer of a variety of colors. And that's my 3D printer. There. That guy. That's 3D printer. It's broken, but yeah, Crown of Madness isn't great. But Hold Monster works. Like, that's pretty legit. Counterspell, obviously amazing. Darkness, do they have Devil Sight? They don't have Devil Sight, so Darkness sucks. I think their go-to is going to be Hold Monster on whoever has Shitty Wisdom, which is probably going to be Snark, and then spam Grave Bolts or Deathly Claws. Probably Deathly Claws, so they can get the auto crits within melee. Actually, they can Grave Bolt in melee, too. Because once they're incapacitated, you don't get disadvantage. Look at their Darkness. It is Devil Sight. Huh? What? Senses Dark Vision, including Magical Darkness. I was expecting there to be like a feature called Devil's Sight. Okay, that makes things way cooler. So they do have Devil's Sight. So yeah, so one of them casts Hold Monster, probably on Snark. One of them casts Darkness, and then the other one starts laying into him. That's going to be legit. Yeah, this is going to be fun with these 3 guys. And then the 1, maybe 2 people who hit the teleports are going to be up here with the real Strahd von fucking Zarovich. We're going to give him a hundo. out of a hundo for his heart hit points. Turn off the lights. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, darkness. Yeah, sorry. I have a hard time stringing things together. So yeah, I think that's about it. So the things that the players are really interested in, you know, they spend a good deal of time talking about how while they're in the dungeons or in the catacombs, they were touching every single door on each crypt. There's a crypt that has a missing door, and I'm literally just not going to give them any way to find that door because that thing was a myth anyway. So essentially, I gave them this myth from the Barovian people that they touched every door and poked every stone. Right. There's a myth from the Barovian people that I gave them where if you touch every door in the crypts, the pillar stone of Ravenloft itself will grant you a wish. And in the same conversation, I also told them about Azalin. And basically, I was hoping to combine those two clues. So I replaced Baron Iceglaze Droof. Iceglaze Droof. Ice. I'm going to throw this in a translate. Translate.google.com. I don't know what this means. Detect language. Ice glass drizzle. Okay, why not? So I'm hoping they pick up on the Azalin clue now that Sean is back, because Sean missed last session. Because Sean's very interested in finding Azalin. Sean knows that Azalin is a lich. So I'm hoping they go into this particular crypt so they can find the Luckblade. Do you need... Yeah. You need to attune to it to get the wish. Yeah, so that gets them a wish. I was hoping to give them clues to that. If they don't pick it up, they don't pick it up. If they do, cool. So yeah, that's basically the plan. Strahd charms basically an entire party as a bat. I'm guessing at some point they're going to explore in here just so that they can figure out what the hell's going on. And then if they manage to destroy Strahd up top, with or without the Hammer of the Morning Lord, then they're going to have to rush down here and then fight against essentially an army of Strahd's minions pretty much at every turn to get back down here. If they're smart, while they're exploring this, they'll notice the windows and they'll put two and two together as to like the geography, and then they can rappel down from the balcony and smash in these windows. Is there anything about the windows being breakable? Stained glass windows can't open; they can be smashed easily. Cool. So yeah, 110 feet from the Overlook down to here. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm also going to add Sergei to this tomb, just because I co-opted Sergei's tomb up here for Tatiana. Oh my god. There actually says Sergei Bonzarovich on the... Wow. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Not a very long DM prep session because, I spent 2 hours prepping essentially how the entire castle is going to go along. I think the biggest thing I need to do at this point is just go through Strahd's spell list. These tick marks at the beginning are what... they didn't learn a whole lot about Sergei. No, they really didn't. They know he's Strahd's brother. They know Strahd is jealous of him. None of the players actually read I Strahd, which I don't blame them. But... I've just been sort of drip feeding them details out of it, which is fine. So he's got shield and absorb elements, obviously, defensive spells, counter spell. Yep. Slow is pretty nasty, even though Gramps is good at whiz saves. Rubek only has a +2. Snurk's got maybe a +5. I know he has proficiency because he's a samurai. Greater invisibility, which is really useful for just being invisible. Sickening Radiance really fucked them up the first time. Autolux Resilient Sphere is kind of a hold up. Let me just regenerate for a little bit and start this fight over. because every turn he spends in his bubble, he regains 20 hit points. So, you know, they might see that and go, oh, okay, well, I should go get the hammer. But, you know, if he starts getting really low on hit points, he could just Resilient Sphere. None of the players have Dispel Magic still. There have been like 5 or 6 opportunities, or 5 or 6 times in this game where Dispel Magic would have saved their asses, and no one ever picked it up. So they still don't have it, and I'm going to use Resilient Sphere against them because it's amazing. And then, of course, if they're ever grouped up within 30 feet of him, he's going to just Steel Wind Strike the group of them and do a buttload of damage. And yeah, that's... He's very... So today, he... yeah, Counterspell and Dispel Magic are amazing. It's not on Strahd's sheet since he's technically a wizard, and depending on how long they take, you want to give him Arcane Recovery. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason not to give him Arcane Recovery. Today, he's only used 2 spell slots. I think he's a 9th level wizard. He is a 9th level spellcaster with wizard spells prepared. So yeah, he could get a 5th level spell slot back. In fact, actually, so I noticed he only actually has one 5th level spell slot on his sheet. And I was trying to find a reason for him to have a second one. That's my reason. He used his Arcane Recovery on getting that second 5th level spell slot, which I had planned on. If the players take a really long time in the castle, I was planning on having him casting Seeming again, just trying to group up a bunch of minions to cast Seeming, because Seeming only lasts 8 hours. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. They've been in the castle for less than an hour at this point, because essentially after every fight, instead of taking a short rest, they just eat a bunch of good berries. They are starting to run out of those, so they might have to short rest soon. But still, they're getting nowhere near 8 hours in the castle, so I don't think Seeming is going to be needed. But yeah, let's say he used his Arcane Recovery to get his 5th level spell slot back, so he can Steel Wind Strike. But yeah, Snurk gets Steel Wind Strike. Wait, that's my move! Yeah, it sucks to suck, don't it? He has a sword, right? I mean, he's got a sword in the art, so I'm going to call that good enough. You know, he doesn't actually have a sword attack. That's fine. So yeah, that's my prep. You know, Strahd has been hounding them pretty heartily their entire time in the castle, and they're running ragged a little bit at this point. So I'm hoping that the final encounter isn't just a shit stomp, and that it's actually like a really heavy fight. You know, between him and 3 Deathlock Masterminds, I don't think it's gonna be a stomp. I really don't. And honestly, you know, the 1 or 2 PCs that do end up fighting Strahd up top, while the rest deal with the Deathlocks, I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how they manage. Yeah, the novel had him as a soldier before turning to the wizardry, the magical arts. Obviously, yeah. Smash holy water on his face. Yeah, I mean that would. Yeah. But yeah, I think up top on the balconies is map 2. You know, the 1 or 2 that get teleported up here, they're gonna have a really hard fight because Strahd is not a pushover. He's got solid spell casting, so he's not liable to get hit very frequently. Even though he only has 16 AC, he can shield to 21. He's got 244 hit points, which is way more than one person can be dishing out in like it's 5 rounds of combat, during which time Strahd can really lay into them, especially with his legendary bite. So I think it's gonna be really gnarly. I do not have any crits, so I can't just start, because let's say Rubek hits the teleporter, and you know, he takes the hammer and then just yeets it. How far could he yeet it? He's got 18 strength. I think he could yeet it pretty far. I don't think it's unreasonable for him to just like walk over to here, and then just yeet it outside the castle walls, and then like off into the well, I mean, let's see. Light hammer. So it's essentially a great sword hilt. So I'm going to call it a light hammer statistically. So distance is 60 feet. A long range is 60 feet. You can't quite get it over there. Can't quite get it outside of the castle. So, not sure. Hey, we got 1,500 bits from Melee After Dark. Thanks, Melee. How's it going, Ryan? Who you wanna? Is that so I can crit with the bite? Is that what the? Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah. So Rubek's gonna be, yeah, I mean, strength check to yeet it further. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, so Rubek hands the hammer over, Strahd yeets it off the cliff, and then Rubek's still charmed, which means that he is a willing creature for the bite, and I just walk over, crit, and then steal a bunch of max HP, like, right off the bat. And that'd be a hell of a way to start the fight. Thank you, Ryan. And your gold dragon got replaced with Bits Leader 3. Gust of wind if I feel like blasting. Ooh, that would be cool. That's actually really neat, Z. That's a good idea, because he does have Gust of Wind prepped. So it'd be really neat if he just cast Gust of Wind and then dropped the hilt into it. And just, that would be a moment. That would be a fucking moment. What is the length on Gust of Wind? I think it's 60 feet. But even still, by the time it reaches the... Yeah. So it's 60 feet long. So let's say we blast it at an angle, 60 feet up and, up and forward. By the time it leaves that line of wind, it's going to have a lot of velocity, and it's just going to go flying. Yeah, I really like that. I'm going to write that down. Strahd uses Gust of Wind to yeet the hammer off the roof. Yeah. Yeet. Definition of an air cannon. Yeah, literally. Inertial momentum. I think inertial momentum is redundant, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Gust of Wind to yeet the hammer. Just. I'm also a big fan of airbenders. Sail. So yeah, that's it for my DM prep for Curse of Strahd. I think that's really all I need to prep. For Curse of Strahd, at least. I need to do that motion on stream. I absolutely will. Don't even think for a second that I wouldn't. I can't whisper in the mic after I yelled at Jesse about it. I didn't whisper. I was like over here, and I'm just talking. I didn't breathe into the mic. Did I? It's yeet hammer delete. Hopefully Rubek kept his non-magical hammer, and hopefully Strahd's not resistant to non-magical. Oops. So that's gonna, if Rubek doesn't have the magical hammer, Rubek's gonna be kind of nerfed a little bit. So that's it for DM Prep. Thank you for being here. If you want to see how this session that I just prepped goes, check us out on Sundays when we play Curse of Strahd at 1 p.m. EST. We also have 2 other campaigns. We have Odyssey of the Dragon Lords on Saturdays at 4 p.m. EST, and we have Rime of the Frost Maiden on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. EST. Thanks for dropping the schedule, Shadows. I also do DM Prep right here, right now, on Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST. And then Andy does DM Prep for Rime of the Frost Maiden on his channel, Andy the Math Magician, at 8 p.m. EST on Saturdays, right after we finish Odyssey of the Dragon Lords. If you're already on Twitch and you already knew all of that, please check out our YouTube. We have every single episode we've ever streamed. And if you are on YouTube, please check out our Twitch. We stream a lot. I also like to announce for like the 6th time that tomorrow, January 8th at 6 p.m. EST, right here, right on Twitch, we're going to be doing a special one-shot with our Artificer's Homunculus Servant. We're going to do the adventure of Mr. Nibbles. Mr. Nibbles, the squirrel in an Iron Man suit, has ventured into the underground. He's in an underground tunnel, and we're going to do a one-shot to figure out where that tunnel goes. And it's going to be really interesting. So join us for that tomorrow, January 8th. And if it's already after that date, check it out on YouTube. I'm sure it's up. We also have all of our streams as podcasts now. And as Steph just dropped in chat, we also have a merch store. Shop.spreadshirt.com/thegildedtroll. So we got a new merch store that doesn't suck. So that's neat. And if you really enjoy the DM prep, stick around because I'm gonna take a break. Hey, the only razor's now following. Thanks for the follow. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna get some water. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Then I'll be back in like 5 minutes, and then we're gonna do DM prep for Odyssey of the Dragon Lords. So thanks for being here, and don't go anywhere.